okay, I talked to Ghostcrawler about this. I think I might actually reach out to them and do another follow up on the game, maybe like a little update. I'm not entirely sold on the blue shard, red shard. For those of you who don't know or who are not really familiar with Ghostcrawler's new MMO, the world is essentially structured into like two different shards. You got blue shards and red shards. Red shard is what we know as like the open world. Blue shards are kind of almost like those, you know, those survival games where you're kind of in your own mini world and then you kind of build up and you can kind of set your own rules within that game. That's the blue shards. And you're going to be jumping back and forth from like blue shards and red shards in this game. And I just don't know how that's going to work. I think it's a very ambitious system. Sure, you're trying something new. It's ambitious. Maybe it will really work. And I don't know, maybe even set a trend for future MMOs. But on paper, that idea just, I don't know, man. It doesn't, I'm not entirely sold.
Such as playing with friends and building a community, as MMOs have moved too far towards solo adventure.
Have they been doing a monthly pod? Oh yeah, they have been. Yeah, I need to check that out. Who forced you to play BNS? Nobody, dude. Yasin, nobody. I'm excited to play. Like, okay, listen. The thing about BNS is that Blade and Soul is a game that everyone agrees has good potential. What I like about BNS is that the combat is fucking amazing. It's got the aesthetics that I like in an MMO, the character design and whatnot. The classes itself are very well designed, in my opinion. Like, I think they're fucking fantastic. Okay, it's got these three things, and those are very important pillars to a game for me. And what killed this game, from my understanding, is monetization. And at the end of the day, I have spoken with their current team, and it's a new team that's trying to change the direction of the game. And they're trying to change the direction of the game with the new Neo server, or the new classic Neo version that's coming out, as well as the live version. So I want to check it out, man. I just want to check it out. See if it's gotten better. See what it's like right now, and see what Neo's gonna be like. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Entering. One of the peculiarities of Ghost will be its shards system, where the player will alternate.
This is the third day I've seen you in the Blade and Soul. I haven't seen you play it. Well, I played it yesterday. What do you mean? I just started my stream. I like to just do some reacts, and well, today I was eating my dinner before, so we're gonna finish watching this video, and then we're gonna hop into the game.
Between private realms called blue shards, which will have a similar experience to games such as V Rising, and public red shards, which will have a more traditional MMORPG experience. Work on Ghost has just started, but Ghostcrawler mentioned in an interview with Kanon that the development of the game is moving really fast, and that he doesn't want to be working on the game 10 years from now. I'll be real with you, I don't think we'll see this game before 2028, but at least we know where to put all of our cope if
We made it, boys! We made it. I will be honest with you guys, I have really worked my ass off post Lost Ark to try and establish myself as an MMORPG content creator, not a Lost Ark guy. Here's an example. Benji, Albert, ATK, these guys, love them, right? Good friends of mine. But from a professional perspective, if you talk about these guys anywhere outside of Lost Ark, they're either not going to know who they are, or they're going to know that they are Lost Ark guys. Now, I feel like I've been able to separate myself from that, and people just look at me as an MMO guy that may have started from Lost Ark. And I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of that. And I'm going to continue to work hard in that regard.
Actually, the creation and the Riot's MMO Crash and Burn.
For other MMOs, not LA.
Chrono Odyssey is a Korean open world MMO.
Chrono Odyssey, man, this game, it's one of those games that look great, right? I hope this isn't a Throne and Liberty angle. Throne and Liberty angle meaning like original, right? Like originally We thought it looked great. Little sus, but we thought overall looked pretty cool. And then when it first came out, the final build came out, not the actual launch, because the launch build was so much better. But when the original build came out, we're like, what the fuck is this? You remember? Chrono Odyssey, for whatever reason, this is just 100% just a gut feeling. For whatever reason, I feel like Chrono Odyssey is going to be ass. I hope I'm wrong, because this is my type of aesthetic. This is going aesthetically, this is going to reach out to like the BDO guys. It's going to reach out to the Western crowd that is interested in partaking in some Korean, because some Korean MMOs, like ain't nobody in the West gonna be playing fucking Maple Story and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is a game, aesthetically, this is like something that Western players would play, Eastern players would play. Sure, it looks great, but actually I feel like maybe a little bit less Eastern, but I don't know. I just for whatever reason, I just feel like this game, I got a bad feeling about this game.
MMORPG
for no reason, but I just do.
Will be available on both PC and console. This
looks
game
great
looks
though.
Absolutely stunning,
It
and
does.
the recent gameplay trailer is quite promising. It includes classic fantasy RPG classes such as Archer, Warrior, Berserker, and Mage, but it also introduces guns, hammers, and as the game.
Lots of people play Maple Story in the West, not in comparison to the East, but what I meant in regards to that was more so like you take Maple Story, okay, and you ask all the Westerners, or even specifically MMORPG Westerners, what they think about it versus Easterners, and I feel like the dislike category will be higher amongst the Western MMORPGers compared to the Eastern MMORPGers.
Game's name implies various time-bending
I am aware that people obviously
Chrono Odyssey
still play.
kind of gives me BDO
in the
vibes with
West.
its graphics, epic-looking combat, and giant monsters, but beyond that, the details are scarce. The most optimistic expectation would be a release in late 2024, but realistically, probably 2025 and beyond.
Okay, I'm not gonna actually argue with you on that one, Plump. Western MMORPGers don't know shit. Just because there is clearly a divide with games, and a game that I would like to see do better, that is popular, that is absolutely more popular in the East than in the West, is Dungeon Fighter Online. And that's a game that I kind of want to dip my toes in. I legit kind of want to play some Dungeon Fighter, man.
Throne and Liberty recently released in Korea in December 2023 and is scheduled for a 2024 release in the West, published by Amazon Game Studios. Before the official release, the game underwent a significant combat revamp in response to negative feedback from the closed beta tests. The updated
we know a
version
thing
of
or
the
two
game
about
no longer includes
Throne and
autoplay,
Liberty,
features
boys.
a more dynamic combat system, and takes a more traditional approach to MMO
Should probably
features.
move this here,
It's
yeah?
basically like a modern version of
Sorry,
Lineage
guys.
2. To the surprise of absolutely no one, the game is obviously pay to win, and will likely see a Western release in the first half of 2024 on PC, followed by a console release in the near future on both Xbox and PS5. Check out my latest video if you want to see my first impressions on the game, and what you can expect for the Western release. Path of Exile 2. Not really an MMORPG,
not
but
an
I know
MMO
all
at
my
all.
MMO friends will be playing this game as soon as
Sure.
it comes out. Path
This is
of
a game
Exile
that
2 is a free
I've been thinking, do I cover more ARPGs? Do I spend more time doing ARPGs so that I can kind of get ready for Path of Exile 2? I'm also kind of curious as to how Path of Exile 2's beta test is going to line up with Ash's Alpha 2. For me, as an MMO content creator, if there is an overlap there, I have to do Ashes. I have to. Like, from a professional perspective, I have to do Ashes. From a personal perspective, I think Path of Exile 2 beta, I think as a game for what they are, pound for pound respectively, I think PoE 2 is going to be way better. I'm not 100% sold on Ashes yet as a game. However, Ashes is clearly more my style. Is absolutely more my style of game because number one, I'm an MMO guy. Number two, I love sandbox MMOs. My favorite MMO of all time is vanilla ArcheAge, and Ashes is essentially the successor to vanilla ArcheAge.
To play next-gen ARPG that promises to outdo its very successful prequel, as well as offer a much more in-depth gameplay experience to competitor Diablo 4, which released in 2023. Earlier in the year, Grinding Gear Games released a new gameplay trailer for PoE 2 and an announcement for the first closed beta, which begins June 7th, 2024.
Is WoW huge in the East? No, it's not. It's extremely niche.
Even though this isn't an MMO, definitely keep an eye out for this one, as I'm sure you'll like it. ArcheAge 2 is not the name
Here
for
it
the
is.
next...
ArcheAge 2. It's gonna be pay to win. I would bet against this game being a success. Doesn't change the fact that it's probably on my top 3. It's probably all it. Yeah, I would say top 3. It's top 3 on my list on MMOs that I'm looking forward to playing, that I'm excited about. Just because of my experience with vanilla ArcheAge, man. I know it can be terrible. Like, I really hope they don't go the route with ArcheAge Unchained. Man, ArcheAge Unchained, talk about a shitty fucking game. Like, talk about taking a masterpiece of a game, content-wise. I'm not even talking about monetization, just content-wise. A masterpiece of a game and turning it into complete dog shit. Complete dog shit. I mean, you had a system where your progression was directly tied to whatever you wanted to do. You could literally be a pirate. You could run trade packs. You can play Farmville. You can grind, whatever. And then that turned into Reset Raid Age. Fucking terrible, dude. So bad. Awful.
Fresh start server of ArcheAge, but the sequel itself to the acclaimed yet controversial MMORPG. ArcheAge 2 takes a bold new
Jessica,
direction
you looking for group, are you?
by moving away from large-scale faction-based PvP. This shift apparently reflects the Western market's preference for action-packed single-player console games.
I would love to get an interview with people over at Ashes, but I don't know. Maybe I could reach out, but I don't know what I would talk to them about that's exclusive, you know? They're like, Ashes has been very transparent with what they're doing, so I don't know. I don't know what I could provide.
Games. The primary focus for progression in ArcheAge 2 will now be on single-player content, while still trying to maintain...
I don't know about you guys. How many of you pronounced it Haram? I pronounced it Haram, and I just got a kick out of it every time.
the core elements that ArcheAge was known for, such as trading and sea combat.
Yeah, I called it
Haram.
Haram.
Games is apparently looking at Gamescom 2024 for a gameplay reveal of ArcheAge 2, so I think we can assume a 2025 release for this one. Regardless, this is another Unreal Engine 5 MMO that I'll personally be very excited in trying out. Perfect New World is a game made in Unity.
I heard this is so bad.
Out of the blue.
This game looks so good. Just like in the trailers and shit, but
months ago,
I heard it
seems to be
awful.
Pretty far ahead in its development cycle.
No, I heard
it's
it's
And
terrible.
various beta footage. Perfect New World has a hybrid combat system with animation
look at this. This looks pretty cool, right?
4
but I heard it's actually awful
and has a mix of PvP and PvE content. The general feedback I saw from this game's playable tests were somewhat mixed, but the game does look really nice.
One thing that Asians do well, man, just do for the character design. I don't know, man. I like even this, in my opinion, looks way better than like all the shit that you see in WoW, man. I don't know. That's just me. Probably biased. I know. I get it. I've got yellow skin myself, but
and it's still in development, so there's time to improve.
Give me a Western MMO with Eastern MMO aesthetics. That's all I'm asking. Give me a Western MMO content progression wise, but with Eastern character looks, Eastern combat.
Expect a full release for this one.
That's what I want, man. That's all I'm asking for.
Corepunk is quite a unique MMORPG as it tries to bridge the gap between MOBA and MMO, with top-down gameplay and fog of war, which serves as a way to incentivize exploration in the open.
I heard this was also another game that just sucked. Welcome back. What's up, Saint? Yeah, I heard this is so bad.
World. Besides the MOBA-like combat system, you still have your classic MMORPG systems like gathering, crafting, quests, randomly generated dungeons, and raids. The game had a beta test fairly recently. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to play it, but next beta test I'll jump in and make a first impressions video.
Okay.
So far, Corepunk is looking highly likely to release sometime in 2024. Do you like Warframe but wish it had slower, more deliberate gameplay and was set in a more grounded fantasy world? Well, good news, Soulframe is being developed by Digital Extremes and will be a parallel game to Warframe, offering similar gameplay features but with a different aesthetic and theme. There's no date for this one, but the devs are releasing development updates.
Not gonna lie, I'd never actually heard of this game.
For late 2024. With its crowdfunding of over $500 million,
it's
Star
not
Citizen is
okay.
the most ambitious game ever. And whilst after a decade in development, we still have no full release date.
Bro, I've been hearing about Star Citizen. Like, is this a scam? I've been hearing about Star Citizen since like I was out the womb, bro. Like, what's happening here?
Gameplay trailer for
I the only reason why I don't know too many details is because I'm just not into sci-fi space shit. What's that game? It's like a masterpiece of a game to this day. It's a space MMO. What is that called again? Oh my gosh. Fuck, help me out, chat. What is it? You guys know? Eve. That's it. Yeah, Eve. This is the reason why I can't get into Eve. A lot of people tell me content-wise, Eve would be right up my alley because, again, I fucking love sandbox MMOs, but I can't do space games. The spaciest I could get is WildStar. That's the spaciest I could get.
42.
That was fine.
Single-player campaign version of
I was okay with WildStar
earlier in 2023. Star Citizen has been playable.
How's the Twitch situation in Korea? Okay, so that's not relevant to what we're doing here, just in case I upload this to YouTube. But just to quickly answer that, Twitch did leave Korea, but they're like loopholes. TLDR, I'm an American. Well, first of all, I'm American, just so you know. You might not know that, but I'm American. And I'm onboarded as an American Twitch partner. And if you're onboarded as an American Twitch partner or a non-Korean, then you can still stream from Korea. There's no problem.
Testing state for a few years and does have a dedicated community.
Why you quit BDO? I don't like to think of myself as quitting BDO.
For
having
many, though,
had
the game
quit
has
BDO.
been in development for so long.
I'm just not playing it right now.
Tuned out. One thing's for certain though, if Star Citizen ever does release, it will probably be the best sci-fi MMO ever created.
Yeah, just a break.
As for an estimated release date, I have no idea. Tarisland is a
ArcheAge.
cross-platform PC
ArcheAge
mobile
music.
MMORPG made by Tencent.
Nope.
And that's usually where I would lose interest immediately. But
Wait, why? Because it's Tencent or with Chinese? Why?
After looking into this game, I think it could actually be a very interesting project.
I had no idea how big Tencent was until I was actually in China. Tencent is crazy huge.
Although towards the end of 2023, it did have a bit of controversy.
Tarisland, probably one of the worst MMOs that I had played overall, that I had tested in recent years. Like pure, I'm just 100% honest here. Okay, full transparency. I actually like the graphics to the game. I actually don't mind this aesthetic. If anything, I feel like aesthetically this is like a an Asian twist graphically on World of Warcraft's look, I guess. I didn't mind it. Honestly, I really didn't. But everything in this game just screamed lack of polish. Just it like really poorly polished. I did not like the itemization. I did not like the day-to-day progression, the content. I did not like how the world felt. I don't know, man. I think my agency has told me that they've reached out for me to do an updated review because I do have a review video on my channel. if you are curious, you can check out my channel. I've got you could search Tarisland on my channel. I have a review that I did on it, and also the monetization, right? What rubbed me the wrong way the most was what they said with monetization. The fact that they said that they were strong against pay to win, absolutely zero pay to win, like none, truly free to play, and it was anything but that. And then they actually went back and deleted some of what they said prior in regards to it. That was like what rubbed me the wrong way, and a lot of people in their community the wrong way, because that's what happened. Bro, they were monetizing their fucking closed beta. Like, what more can you say? Bro, like, what? Like, it's one thing to go pay to win on your game, but you're gonna actually monetize your closed beta? What do I mean by that? They literally had a pass that you could pay for to that essentially gave you sped up progression and gave you currency. Specifically for the closed beta. You would think that shit would be given during a fucking closed beta test. You could literally buy currency and pay to win in the beta test that they said this is for beta. And they're like, this will also, like, credit for this will also, bro, it's like one of those Asian fucking top-up games. You top up this much and you're going to get this amount, you're going to get like this amount of credit applied to your live service account. So top up, and bro, it was like top up now. We're giving like special deals, special rates in the closed beta, and you're going to take these benefits, or not the benefits directly, but you're going to have the credit that's purchased here transfer over to your account during the live service. I'm like, not only are you monetizing the closed beta, you're actually incentivizing it. Yeah, like fucking 800% value shit. I'm like, how are you gonna sit there? And to be honest, guys, I play pay to win games, right? I play pay to win games. You know, games like NCSoft Throne and Liberty, they never said that they were not going to sell a premium currency. They never said that it was going to be not pay to win, you know? And we expected it was, and it is, and the gaps are moderate. So, okay, cool. Transparency there. Issue that I had with Tarisland was they were like, absolutely no pay to win. Zero, none. And then the fucking beta test is like that, dude. I don't know. They said they've changed a lot. If they can strike a deal through my agency, I'll check it out as I check out all MMOs. But Tarisland was so bad to the point where there's no way I was going to recover the game at its launch. That's how bad it was for me. So we'll see.
From the get-go,
if they, like I said, if they can strike a deal with my agency, and if it's worth my fucking time, and I'm allowed to, because this would absolutely be my stipulation, be able to give my, honest take on it, then sure, I'm happy to revisit the game.
The game assured players that it would be a zero pay-to-win MMO, but during the CBT,
I don't know if I will,
had a
Plasma.
number of
I'm not
systems
sure.
where players could basically buy power in a similar way to games like Lost Ark and
Maybe.
World of Warcraft. Weirdly,
Depends
the
on the
devs
time.
also removed mentions of non-pay-to-win from their marketing and description of the game during this time.
Yeah.
However, since then, following backlash
Yeah, I like
from
the look of the
player base,
characters.
they've
Look,
now
I actually
seen
like
legal-
that. If I played World of Warcraft, I would rather have World of Warcraft have these characteristics.
back to their
Actually looks
non-pay-to-win vision, stating in a recent dev update that the pay-to-win stuff wouldn't be a thing for the full release, it was just for the CBT. Make of that what you will.
Yeah, there you go. There's the closed beta test card that I was telling you guys about, right? Think about this. They're sitting there saying that their game is non-pay to win. Their fucking closed beta was pay to win. Like, what the fuck? Who the hell makes a beta? Who the hell makes a closed beta test pay to win? That is literally the one thing that you can expect to not be pay to win, even for an NCSoft game. you can expect at least the closed beta test to not be pay to win, right? It might, bro. It's a fuck. How can you fucking trust that? I've never seen that before in my life, man. Fucking monetizing closed beta. Oh
Aside
my
from
god.
that, the game will have a seamless open world and a
Like,
traditional
holy
tab
shit,
target
bro.
combat system, as well as being accessible on a global server for both PC and mobile platforms. On top of that, the devs recently removed the game's gender lock after receiving feedback
Okay,
from a
that's
closed
good, that's
beta,
good.
which I think is very unusual for Eastern devs, but will likely
True.
be appreciated by most
Yeah, that's good.
players.
Yeah, that's
As
a
for
W.
Features, it looks
That's
like
a
they're
small
going for
W.
a classic-themed WoW-inspired MMO with raids, multiple classes and builds, and a vast open world.
As for the release date, Tarisland will launch in Q1 2024.
The Quinfall is an upcoming MMORPG
soon, by
that
the
makes
way.
the ambitious claim to bring us the largest
That's actually really soon.
open world we have ever seen. In Quinfall, your class
Here,
will be
I heard
decided
about
by
this.
the combination of weapons you equip. You'll be able to have your own shop in the world, play mini-games and board games in taverns with other players,
Bro, the best card game to this day, in my opinion, is the card game in Final Fantasy VIII. What was that called again?
explore secret dungeons filled with puzzles, gather, craft,
Yeah, I heard
fish,
about the
and pretty
recycled
much do
assets, man.
everything your heart desires. This is a big promise, and it's possible that Quinfall is attempting too
How many
much,
times have you heard that in an MMO? You could do whatever your heart desires. Suck
which
my
doesn't
balls,
always
bro.
turn out too well.
The game's
The
release
only game that I would say that was actually true for, that I've played, probably vanilla ArcheAge.
was set to be on January 20th.
I think there's definitely a couple other games that I'm not thinking about, but what I can remember is vanilla
changed it
ArcheAge.
very recently to coming soon, instead launching a closed beta test on January 30th instead. I've not had the chance to play the beta personally, and I'm extremely skeptical that this dev team has managed to pull off such an ambitious project in such a short space of time, but based on some of the footage I've seen of the game on YouTube, the Quinfall does seem to be somewhat playable, so it's already surpassed my expectations because
old school
I
RuneScape
genuinely
music?
thought it was a scam. Whether it's a good game or not, I'll let you know in a first impressions video soon when I get to play it. Blue Protocol is an upcoming free-to-play anime MMORPG that was released this year in Japan and is set to release in the West in 2024, published by AGS. The game had a bit of a bumpy release in Japan, but I can see that the game could be fairly successful in the West, as the game will be somewhat similar to Genshin but with more MMO elements.
No, this game needs two things. It needs one of two things to be successful in the West. Here it is. You ready, chat? Believe me, I'm not talking out of my ass when it comes to Blue Protocol. Out of all the fucking content creators out there, Staparu and I are the two fucking content creators that have actually put in a significant amount of time and reached end game content. Here it is. You ready? It's this simple. This game needs to add either a lot of social content at the end game or meaningful vertical progression content. Fuck it. Even horizontal content like how Guild Wars 2 does it. Whatever. You just need to have meaningful end game content, whether they're going to focus on the social elements like how Final Fantasy 14 has, or having game design that can facilitate that, or having end game content like dungeons and raids that people want to actually participate in, giving purpose to the vertical progression they have. If you don't want to have vertical progression, you want to take more of a Guild Wars 2 approach, fine. You still need good fucking dungeons and raids at the end of the game, at the end game. You don't have that in Blue Protocol. You don't. There's literally no end game content. People are surprised. Hey, why is it not doing well in Japan? Well, because there's nothing to do at the end game. You hit max level and the game becomes pointless to play. That's the issue. That's the issue.
As for an actual
It's as
Western
simple as
release
that.
date, I think we could expect Q3 2020.
If there's no end game content, then you need some kind of game design that will allow players to fucking RP, socialize, whatever that may be. Like Final Fantasy 14 does that well. That's what it is. If you don't have that in your game, then you better give the player something to do with dungeons and raids and shit, because the dungeons that are at the end game, they're not good. They're not fun. They're not good enough to want to continue to log in every day for. And there needs to be purpose behind it.
Perhaps with some beta tests before that. Dune Awakening is an open-world survival MMO set in the Dune universe and developed by Funcom, the creators of Conan Exiles. Like many survival games, Dune Awakening will include elements such as gathering, exploring, and hunting.
I'm not the chat. Let me know what you guys think. I'm personally not the biggest fan of like book/movie titles becoming MMOs. There was that one game. There was one game. It was like a TV show / movie, and it was a MMO, and it was like a one-word name. I think it started with the letter D. Defiance. Thank you.
However, it places extra emphasis on the social interaction among players in a persistent world. The game recently announced the first beta test, and you can sign up for it on the official website.
In follow channels, it says Kanon XO plays Blade and Soul. Click into the stream. It says Lost Ark, and he actually looks at other games. Never let them know your next move. Dude, have you seen those videos where it's like never let them know your next move? And like the dude just does the most random fucking shit. Like you think he's gonna like pick something off the ground, but he does something completely random. But then when he does that random thing, he actually does a different random thing, and it just triggers you as you're watching because like you're like, ah. Yo, I fucking love those videos, man.
Mentioned that the game is at a stage where player feedback would be valuable.
Never let them know your next move.
I anticipate a release in 2024 for this one, potentially around Q4. Project LLL represents NCSoft's venture into third-person MMO shooters, unfolding in an alternate reality.
Is this really an MMO though? I'm sick of these third-person shooters that are like, oh, MMO, and it's not. You know, like Destiny 2 is like the closest thing to an MMO.
3D map, drawing inspiration from Philip K. Dick's novels. The game offers a fully explorable open world, dynamic events, and the inclusion of mechs. Development appears to be well underway with a probable release in 2024 on both PC and console. Profane presents itself as an authentic player-driven sandbox MMO set in a traditional fantasy environment. You can explore a dynamic world that responds to your actions, engage in open-world PvP,
what is happening here?
Houses, and experience skill-based.
Is this sandbox MMO? Or is this like
Profane
survival game?
Multiple tests in 2023.
I've literally never heard of this game.
Version of the game at this year's Brazil game
This looks so shit, but it actually looks fun.
Shown so far, I think the game will be released in either late 2024 or 2025.
This looks bad, but looks fucking fun for whatever reason.
Fate is a Viking-themed open-world indie MMORPG.
You know what? For like Chrono Odyssey, I'm just like, bro, this looks amazing, but I have a feeling it's gonna be shit. That game, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, yo, this looks shit, but it actually kind of looks fun.
Choose from 5 distinct classes: warrior, necromancer, mage, pirate, and priest. The game has fairly nice graphics and adopts a Souls-style action combat system. It features a crafting and gathering system, quests, and various monsters such as zombies, demons, and giants, and has been receiving small but steady improvements, with it likely to enter early access on Steam in 2024.
RuneScape's got some pretty good music.
DokeV is a creature collecting open world MMO.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, these types of games don't really interest me, but if I'm ever gonna play one, it's gonna be DokeV. Just because the world looks so fucking good and the combat actually looks really fun, I can low-key kind of like, it's conceptually not my style, but I can kind of see myself having fun with this game.
Developed and published by Pearl Abyss.
This I don't like running around like I don't like running around as like a 12-year-old kid, you know, just looking like a Pokemon trainer or some shit. But I don't know, man. The game itself looks pretty good.
In 2019, and the development
Did they really remove the multiplayer?
Been somewhat quiet since 2021, where we got a pretty exciting gameplay trailer. This game is supposed to bridge the gap between young and old MMO players, and has a much more casual tone when compared to other games.
Look at this!
The release date for DokeV hasn't been announced yet, but
dude, Pearl Abyss, the fact that they have their own engine, impressive. impressive. This is literally you with a hat on. What do you mean? What?
Seeing how Crimson Desert was
Actually, I'll
pushed
take
to
that.
2025,
You think
I
I
wouldn't
move like
hold
that?
my breath for this.
Look at that
one.
llama.
Maybe late 2024 if we're lucky. Otherwise, this is a 2025 or beyond release. Plan 8. Similar to Project LLL, Plan 8 is an MMO shooter made by Pearl Abyss.
Is it again?
This
Okay,
game
Pearl
was announced in
Abyss.
2019, and PA has been
I don't know, man. Pearl Abyss,
in radio
not bad. I know a lot of you guys don't like Pearl Abyss, but I think they make some pretty good games, man.
silent ever since. Considering Crimson Desert was delayed for 5 years and tuned down from an MMORPG to a
Hey,
single
Doomsday,
player
what's up?
game, I can't promise you that this game will ever come out, and if it does, it might be a rhythm game for all we know, so don't expect this before 2026. Eternal Tombs, formerly called War of Dragnaroks. Eternal Tombs is an indie MMORPG that recently went through some major changes. After transitioning to Unreal
Chicken
Engine
noodle
5,
soup.
the game will now
Ooh.
be run by live staff.
We're just doing some
called
reacts
Tomb
before we do some
Masters,
BNS.
who will shape the experience of players by running
Day
events
2
and
BNS. Do you
changing
play
the
BNS?
in-game world. Eternal Tombs will allow you to run your own shop, craft unique items, partake in castle sieges, and much more. The game will also not have a cash shop, and promises that all items will have to be earned through gameplay.
Why am I not surprised? Okay, chat. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this fucking gameplay. Look at this fucking gameplay. Is it bad that I look at this gameplay and think, yeah, this game does look like a game that would not have a cash shop? I actually trust that this game won't be pay to win. I actually trust that this is not going to have a pay to win system. Am I the only one that thinks that? It's like when I see awesome, cool action combat, you know, super polished, high-end graphics, I'm like, sus dog face, you know, like, I don't know, probably gonna be pay to win. I see this shit, I'm like, yeah, probably won't be pay to win.
Eternal Tombs has some really unique ideas, and I'm interested to see if an MMO run by GMs can actually work. That being said, I don't think we'll get to play it before 2025. Ashfall is a post-apocalyptic MMORPG shooter developed by legendary Star Studio, and will offer 9 distinct shooting styles that come from a mix of your abilities and weapons. The expansive world in this game spans over 200 kilometers, featuring diverse environments such as small camps, toxic wastelands, and sprawling cities. The release date for this game is confirmed for Q3 2024, although personally I don't think this game looks very good. Into the
a lot
Echo
of
is an
shooters.
Unreal Engine 5 MMORPG that describes itself as a massively multiplayer time travel tale. The game aims to break free from traditional MMORPG
what they all
conventions like
say.
linear progression or levels. Apparently the game strives to create an inclusive environment where everyone can play together and have a meaningful impact, regardless of the hours they've invested. Whilst
See, yeah, I don't know how that would work, man. I don't know. I like that. Excuse me, sorry, the food. Oh, excuse me. I can respect that type of ambitious direction with an MMO, but I just don't know how you can make that work for an MMO. That fundamentally can't really exist. Exactly, right? Like the whole purpose for MMOs for a lot of players, unless again, for most players, if you're a Guild Wars 2 enjoyer, or if you're a horizontal enjoyer, this wouldn't apply to you. But for the most part, vertical progression and the purpose behind MMOs is the progression, right? The vertical progression, getting stronger, dealing more damage, seeing your character evolve into becoming something more, right? How would that exist if you can coexist with a level 1 rando commando player that, like, you know what I mean? It's like, how, like, where's the separation going to come from? Because you have to have separation.
This game might not cater to hardcore players. It's likely to appeal to a more casual audience, especially those looking for a game to enjoy with their partner. There's no gameplay out for this one yet though, so I'm assuming this is a 2025 or beyond release.
Yeah.
Pioneers
I've never even heard of
Dawn.
that game.
Details about this MMO are still scarce, but it appears to prioritize building and sustaining persistent settlements in a challenging environment. With its abundance of natural themes and survival elements, the game sets itself apart from your typical MMO, potentially filling a unique niche in the market. Since there's no trailer or footage available yet, I believe this to be another one to add to the 2025 or beyond release list. Playable Worlds is, unlike its name would have you believe, not playable. In fact, it's in the very early stages of development. There's almost no information about this game yet.
This game is literally called Playable Worlds?
Costa, the lead designer and director of games like Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies. So we can only expect
this is Ultima, right? From this. Chat, I say, okay, so moving forward, I think I'm going to actually have like an MMO Monday day for stream on Twitch. And I'm low-key kind of thinking about dipping my toes into Ultima Online. EverQuest and Ultima. Who's down? Are you guys down to play some Ultima Online? It would be fun if we could take our community and go and play some random ass old MMO. No?
This one. Plainly speaking, there's not much to talk about with Playable Worlds yet, and it will likely be unplayable until the end of the decade.
:3.
City of
Pone, Pone, thank you for the 3 months. Welcome back, brother.
Titans. If you were a fan of the now closed City of Heroes, you might want to check out City
How
of
you doing
Titans,
today, bro?
an Unreal Engine 5 MMORPG that brands itself as the spiritual successor to City of Heroes. This indie Kickstarter project has raised $800,000, and after a period of limited communication, the studio has finally unveiled a playable version of the game, exclusive to backers, featuring some basic features. The potential release is expected in 2025.
Okay.
Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. If we travelled back in time 20 years and I showed someone the latest footage released for this game, they'd still say it looks outdated.
That's it. W take by Lazy Peon there. I was actually thinking the same thing.
But don't worry, if you're in your 20s, you might not live long enough to see the release of this game. And if you was ever excited for Pantheon in the past, odds are the recent graphics overhaul and baffling decision to make an EverQuest successor have a children's game art style has likely killed all your hype. I personally do not believe Pantheon will ever release. Camelot Unchained has been a hot mess for quite some time now.
Why does this guy run like an Attack on Titan?
And it's honestly a shame to even include it in an upcoming MMORPG list.
What the hell is that? That's exactly how he runs.
Video. At this point, it's become very clear that this game will never be released.
Yeah, I heard this game got cancelled.
It is just working on an engine to sell to other developers. What's mind-blowing is that even after being in development for more than a decade and still figuring out the very basics of the game, the studio has recently received an additional $15 million in funding from investors.
What?
Unbelievable. But that's it for this video. As I said, I think 2023 was a great year for new MMO announcements, and I'm excited for the new wave of upcoming Unreal 5 games that will hopefully bring a breath of fresh air into the genre. Which MMOs are you most looking forward to on this list? Which ones do you believe will not make it to a full release? Let me know in the comments below, and also help us out with a like for the algorithm gods, and to pray that 2024 gives us some much needed new MMO dopamine spikes. Social media on screen, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
That was actually a really fun video to watch.